G'day guys. Out here I have a brew sitting there with a circuit board in it. And you can probably see that most of the white paint has disappeared. I got this Pyrex pie bowl at Big W. It wasn't expensive. I think it was $13 or something like that, but it was the right size for this. Okay, let's get in here with some light. We'll see how we're going. Okay, stick it on the floor down there. And yeah, don't drop the toothbrush in there. Yeah, I've just been giving it a bit of a scrub with the toothbrush. But that is a 4500 board. Basically, I've got another one here somewhere. Where is it? Here it is. Yeah. As you can see, oops, don't slide in there. Wants to slide in. As you can see, on that one in there, I've taken off some of the capacitors and one of the transformer. I've taken the transformer off that board, while the other one, I'll put it around the same way, still has that on there. So yeah, that's where we're at. The white bits on there, there's a lot of chunky white paint flakes that came off that capacitor there. But yeah, it stripped down all the white epoxy. I'm pretty sure it's either epoxy or a polyurethane. And if you read up what a lot of the manufacturers say, that you cannot rework it. As in, if you paint the boards with this material, you will not be able to repair anything that has gone wrong. Now, I did some experiments to find out what actually worked in taking the paint off. Now, I did get that DMSO, and it does work, but you got to really rub it like crazy to get the paint to come off. So I thought to myself, hang on a second. Now, I know that if you used a liquid methylene chloride solution, what would happen is it would dry out and you would never get it out from under the surface mount parts. And it would just stay there and be conductive and basically throw the board in the bin. So that is something that was on my mind. But I did more research and I found this product, and I'll show you what it is. And it wasn't that expensive. It was a big tin of it. I think it was $21. I thought, yeah, why not? So good on me. I stuck my fingers in the bit at the top. This stuff, Poly paint stripper. Don't get the one with the green label. It doesn't work. This one here, Poly paint stripper. Now this by itself doesn't work very well either on this really nasty material. So it goes in here with my collection of solvents and glues and whatever else. But what I did, I mixed it with the DMSO. I added 5 to 10% on volume of DMSO into the paint stripper. And it is a methyl chloride paint stripper. But the thing is, getting down here, it actually speeds up the process. I tried the paint stripper by itself and it was, it wasn't really much happening. So then I mixed it together and went over the toothbrush and it comes straight off. So this is a way that you can strip the boards back if you want to do anything like, I don't know, what do you want to do? Do modifications. You know, you can now look at the board and you could say to yourself, well, I can actually go and pin to pin, make a schematic diagram by back engineering the circuit board, which I had to do in some cases to repair the board, especially when I did something on the ADG 333 and did something that the driver on one of the gates, or the input switches, or the control input, should I say, did not like, and I said, oh God, what drives that? So I tracked it back and I worked out that it was a 74 HCT 08 quad AND gate. I keep saying NAND, but it's AND gate IC. So that was good, because then I could replace it and away it went again. So, you know, without if you don't know what the ICs are, you're really behind the eight ball. And if you don't know where the tracks go, you're not even playing the game of pool. So you got to know what you're doing, and it's really hard that all the numbers are rubbed off these chips. And you know, for the average Joe out there who wants to dabble in it, there's nothing worse than dabbling in this, and you find the numbers are off the chips. But you know, if you really want to know what they are, I don't know. One day I might get brave and go and get one of these boards, strip all the parts off it, and just put real ones on there and just photograph it, so you all know what's what, because you can't fix it otherwise. You know, you wouldn't know if you know, all sorts of interesting things. You know, it's just tons of you know, like all those chips there near the toothbrush. They're all 2062s, I think they are. I can't remember if they're TLE or TLO. TLE. Just dual CMOS op amps. You know, you wouldn't know that. You think they're all, well, you don't know what they are, would you? You might think they're all, well, you could probably tell they're dual op amps, but you wouldn't know what variety. They are, I think they're a CMOS or FET input anyway. I haven't really bothered looking. I just found out what they are. And, you know, there's Hitachi, Renesas chips sitting there, the big ones, processor, and the thing next to it does a lot of the audio. So the whole thing's been decoded what it is. It's not that I'm the first to do that. The Chinese did it anyway by stealing the documents from Coden, who own Minelab, and then started making GDX 8000s and GFX 7000s from the stolen basically schematics and diagrams. They got the lot. They really did. They got the timing. They got every little bit of code. They got everything, I think, in my opinion. Right. So yeah. So that's how we clean the boards up if you want to play with them. I think this was on the cards too, because the laser detectors don't have this white paint stuck all over it, because, as I've said before, imagine being the poor bloody technician working for Minelab, and you know, something like that comes in under warranty, and it's something curly, and the whole thing's buried in white paint or white epoxy or urethane, whatever it is. It'd be an absolute nightmare. So what do? Do they actually fix them to component level, or do they just piff them in the bin and put a new board in there? You know, that's not the way to go, really, is it? So yeah, I am glad with the laser detectors that they are more or less repairable to a degree. On some of them, well, on the Gold Monster, they put a conformal coating on that, and my God, it's clear, but it's like a clear epoxy resin. it's like you can see it, but it's a real pain in the proverbial to get through to do any modifications, upgrades, or repairs. But it can be done. Yeah, it's just you know, these boards, do they really need a conformal coating? Uh, Maybe you can get one of those jelly type coatings, which is just a modification of a silicon, and you could just put it around the IC legs or something. Anywhere where there's a high impedance device, and maybe on the input op amps and input switching circuits, and you could fix it that way. Well, protect it. But I really think with the numbers ground off, this is my personal opinion, it's not factual, but grinding the numbers off and coating it with that horrible white stuff was really designed to thwart people wanting to back engineer and fire up and um, copy it. But yeah, that went pear shaped, didn't it? So yeah, that's why they keep coming out of China. Even though it's an old design, it's still a good design. These detectors, nothing wrong with them. And like I said, sitting over there. Well, there's a 7,000 sitting over there, fully functional, and that's my own one. And I haven't put it back together because I'm not going to go and use it. I'd rather use the modified 45 or even the modified 5,000. I think, again, in my opinion and from my own experience, it's a better detector. I don't like the new detectors. They're either too heavy or they're too fly spec orientated type of. Maybe you want to do that, maybe you don't. But yeah, that's coming along quite nicely. As you can see, all the white paint's gone. Just don't let that paint stripper dry out. Under any circumstances, you'll not remove it. That there, you can rinse it with water, not a problem. It will all remove. And the trick would be for that I would take it outside. I would actually hit it with my pressure washer, just blast it with normal tap water, and then rinse it in deionized or distilled water. Give it a good scrub over with the toothbrush, and dry it out in the oven probably at about. I dry it out in the oven, fan forced, about 80 degrees Celsius, which is pretty warm, over 100 Fahrenheit, but not hot enough to upset all the electrolytic capacitors. And I just do it for a fair amount of time, just dry all the water out of it, but only do that with demineralized water, otherwise you're going to leave little mineral traces on the board and it may cause problems, may not too. But yeah, that's yeah, how that is. So if you want to do your boards, guys, yeah, DMSO and that poly stripper, not the green one, the one with the red label. Yeah, it's quite brutal. The thing I found too, if you actually do the DMSO first and let it soak on there, it really softens everything up. Then you can do the mix and put it on, and it'll just take everything else off. So it just flakes off. It's really, really good. It gets in there and just rips it all off. So yeah, I might just, as a demonstration, I might just rip everything off this board, except for those two large chips, the Hitachi components, and I might just replace everything with numbered chips because I don't like the gougy ones. Sitting there with gouges in the top, not the best looking thing to show people, is it? So yeah, it's easy enough to just get the hot air gun, pop them off, and reflow some new ones on there. There's not much. What is there? How many chips are there? There's I don't know. I think it's probably 26 chips, 27 at a guess. I'm just trying to remember. But yeah, I do have. Oh, if I go in there, I can find stuff. like you know, I'll do this from a far distance, but you can see yeah, boards there with numbers on it, and all those chips are numbered, and yeah, I'll get right back for this one. Yeah, they go to that parts list there. I don't think I don't think you can actually get onto that and read it, but maybe not. Well, I won't show the bottom of the board then, just in case you can. Just having a bit of fun actually, guys. Just having a bit of fun. But you know, the chips in there. I'll give you some ideas of what the chips are. There's really garden variety stuff in there. I'll read some of the garden variety stuff out to you so you know. TLC 372s, TLE 2022s, TLC 2262s, HCT 4053. The output drivers are FDS 2170N3, FDS 2672. There's TLC 074s, and of course there's AD 797s. There's a TL331I DBV. I wonder what that is. 4011s, 3.3 micrel chip, which is a MIC 5200, HC 40. That's that thing that they parallel all the inputs and outputs on to drive the switch mode power supply. I crack up when I look at that. DG, ADG 333. That's that switch, which you can drag below 0 volts down to negative or positive and show people what you want through it within reason. Yeah, DS 1832s, HEF 40106. I wonder what that is. That is a hex inverter from memory. That's what I used when I made the stud finder back in 1980. So just so you know, HEF 4013, AD 820, LM 339. Yeah, so that's the chip count. It's nothing really dramatic. If you want to look at the processor and that other one there, the Hitachi devices, was it XE2C3 84TQ144 HD64 F2357F20V. The ADC in it, LTC 2622 IMS8. Yeah. So like I say, it's pretty pedestrian sort of a thing. There's nothing really fantastic about it, but sorry, my finger's going over it. But I don't want to get all close up on the parts list, because if I do a close up on that and what goes where over the whole board, then might be a bit of carry on over it. But that's what it is. That's a little bit of work, just working on it and measuring it, seeing what they do, working out inputs, outputs, and that, and then coming out with what chips are what. It's pretty simple, actually. Really, not that hard. Which was easy for me, is what the Chinese got it, but I had to do it the hard way. They did it the easy way, in my opinion. So anyway, like I say, this isn't old. These are old designs. These things, like sitting over there, they are old designs, but they're still damn good. It's completely functional. It still works beautifully, and like I say, you can trick them up and do all sorts of things to them. And why do I keep going back to the GPX 4500? Of all the detectors, the early one, I just keep going back to it all the time, just for my general prospecting. I don't like the newer detectors. They're not my cup of tea, not at all. They yeah, I might go into it one day and explain why they are not. Um, it's all to do with how much energy you can throw into a target, and yeah, they just don't run. In my opinion, they don't run low enough transmit pulses to fully energize big gold deep, so you don't pick it up, you walk over it. So that is my opinion, and yeah, no one will change my opinion on that because it's bloody well true. Yeah. So anyway, there we go. That's how you strip the paint off the board. Anyway, I found that to be the best way of doing it. It beats the nasty stuff I was using before, where I wouldn't do a whole board because it's damn expensive and it's damn toxic. I would just use the other stuff, just do small patches. And but this way here, I mean, you know, you can go and stick your foot in there if you want to. I'm not going to do that, but you know, it's just a basically DMSO methylene chloride mix. You can put other additives into it, but like I say, it's starting to push the limit. Um, yeah, but that's quick and easy, and they sell this stuff commercially, you know, in hardware stores, so it can't be too toxic. So that's why I would show people how or what I'm using and how to use it because obviously if you go to the local hardware store and buy it, uh, you know there's no signing of anything. You just pick it up off the shelf and you walk out the door with it. So it can't be too hazardous, can it? I wouldn't drink it, of course, but yeah, that's what it is. So guys, I know this has been a bit of a bug for years and years and years. People wanting to get the white paint off the circuit boards, and you know, well, you know, why beat around the bush? And that's how you do it anyway. I got some other old ones there too. I got an NSD 2000. I might dunk that in there as well and get the paint off that. And yeah, we'll compare that to other people's um, you know, drawing out of the circuit to see if they're actually accurate. There's some circuits kicking around which people have drawn out. They are not. Parts of them are not correct. They're 98% correct, but there's some parts that they've missed out some critical information because a lot of people have built up these clone SD2000s that don't work or they don't work too well. And yeah, you need to properly go right over it, strip the boards down, and just know what you're doing to get it. Like, you know, even on the older GPs, you know, um, people drew them out, and they've got all they've done a good job, but they've written in the wrong parts. But they think something's a you know XYZ and it's an A, it's you know it's a 1 2 3, you know, that sort of thing. Um, but yeah, that's how much information do you really want to give out? You give out a bit, but you're not going to give out everything. I would never give out everything so that you could go and um, make a detector. That's one thing, especially using someone else's design and modifying it, like you know, modifying a car. But you don't go and build the car and say it's yours, um, as what's happened in the past. But there you go. That's what it is. Um, yeah, it's looking nice and green. We'll get right in on that. You can see that there. It's not my shadow, but you can see there. It's only got those paint, the white bits there. They're just flecks that are sitting there. They haven't totally dissolved. They're just basically floated off. Probably floated off the inductor and that capacitor, or the other capacitors as well, and maybe the tops of some of the diodes and that. But anyway, that's how you do it. So I'm going to leave that there. I might leave it there overnight and give it a wash down tomorrow morning, and then we'll come back and have a look at it. I think it's looking rather good. But yeah, just give you a bit of a. If I can scrape some of that stuff off, you know, you can have a look at there. There you go. Look at that, beautiful. Yeah, it's yeah. You can see everything now. See, there you go. Get off. It's like jelly. But you can see it gets it all off. And that's the way you do it. If you want to see where all the tracks go and track them down through plates and just basically buzz it out to see what goes where. If you want a bit of an understanding, just from a educational point of view, that would yeah suit your purpose. So, but definitely don't let that stuff dry out and sit in there. That is a bad idea. I'd probably get something like this Pyrexy pie plate, whatever they called it, and I'm going to put some cling wrap over that and just seal it up so that it doesn't dry out. What I have done too, I did this as an experiment before. You can do this where you don't have to. I made a little batch up before. I put the DMSO in it. I put the poly stripper in it, and I added some acetone into it as well, and quickly mixed it in. So the acetone will help attack the adherence of this white paint, whatever it may be. And being in the gel, it doesn't evaporate. So, but you still want to keep it covered because if there's any floats the surface or whatever, it'll just vaporize off and you won't have any there. So, but like I say, if this stuff you can experiment adding other solvents. This would probably work really good with methyl ethyl ketone as well. I don't have any. I should have bought some and tried it out, shouldn't I? But I've got a cupboard full of stuff there. A lot of stuff, it won't affect it at all. But the best one actually to soften it all up, if you just want to sit there and pick at it with a little wooden scraper, just a piece of wood, and you just whittle it down into like a screwdriver blade shape, quite harmless. You can actually just put the DMSO on it and do it like that. But yeah, it's a lot of physical work. So I thought the chemical dip would do the job. That's what I've done there. So there you go, 20 bucks for the poly stripper, $13 for the pie plate. Um, because it's Pyrex, it won't affect it. I can just wash it, and the missus can cook pies in it. So yeah, dual purpose. So yeah, I don't want to put this stuff in anything else. It may react. It'll chew into anything probably. Maybe not stainless steel, but I don't really want to go steal the pots and put circuit boards in them. But yeah, you can definitely work on getting that paint off if you want. And the other thing too, if you just want to do a small patch and you want to get on something, just get a little paintbrush, a little small one like an artist brush, and just put the DMSO straight on. Say you want to do lots of measurements, just get the DMSO and put it on the paint on all the IC legs, and just over the period of a couple of hours, just reapply, and all the paint falls off the legs really easy. So then you can go do some measurements, meaningful measurements. But to do the board itself, it really sticks like babies, what, to a blanket. You really need to put a bit more effort in. So yeah, you can get onto all the chip legs and stuff if you really want to. It's an easy way to do it because trying to stick multimeter leads through that white stuff is a pain in the proverbial. So there it all is, and it's pretty dead simple to do. Yeah, 30 bucks and you can strip boards down. I've only used a little bit of that can too. I haven't used that much. I probably use about 1/5. So it's going to do a lot of boards if I want to do that. Anyway, that's good enough. That's my Sunday night video. So yeah, I hope I didn't waffle on too much, but just an insight on how to do it if you want to do it. So it's sitting in there. The bottom of the board's just basically saturated with it at the moment, so it'll all just fall off. Anyway, catch us later.